Hey, what's up guys? It's Nate. Today I want to get a little bit philosophical, a little bit different than I have been, in a little bit more of an abstract way. So I've been talking about government and morality as it applies to the world as we know it. But today I want to talk about goodness in a very abstract way, and you'll kind of see what I mean as I get more into this. So first I want to talk about Sam Harris, a thought experiment that he's proposed. I'm a really big fan of Sam Harris, and he's kind of helped form a lot of the base of the views that I've built on. So this specific thought experiment, he is talking about how science can define human values. And so he says, imagine a world where there is literally just rocks. There's no living creatures, no plants even, no humans, obviously, nothing, just rocks, planets, stars, but no life. He says in that universe, it's easy to understand that there is no morality there because humans do not exist, because conscious sentient creatures do not exist. There can be no suffering, therefore there can be no morality. And then he proposes this in the same thought experiment. Imagine a universe where every single person, every being is experiencing the greatest possible suffering. All the time. Anything that could go wrong does go wrong. It just sucks on every level. Then he proposes on the other side, you can imagine a world where everything's going right and there is no suffering and everybody is taken care of and everybody is living their best life and experiencing an immense amount of joy all the time. Now, whether or not that possibility can be fleshed out in a very specific way is for another debate, but specifically the idea that this proposes is that we can obviously see that there is somewhere that we need to be heading and somewhere that we need to be heading away from. So when you have those two poles understood, then you can start to understand what it means for morality to exist and what human values can actually be. So now that we know that there's somewhere to move towards, we know that there are some actions that will help move towards that and some actions that won't help that or might move us towards the direction we're trying to get away from. So now that that's established, we can kind of see that there are correct actions and incorrect actions that help or don't help a positive situation that we're trying to get to as a species. So I wanted to propose my own thought experiment on top of this. So my own thought experiment goes something like this. If you imagine any world, any universe where there is sentient, self-aware, and autonomous beings, such as ourselves, and you could even argue that some creatures, other creatures in the animal kingdom, have started to reach some of those levels, such as elephants, dolphins, other primates, and stuff like that. So if you imagine any universe where those kind of beings exist, then we can argue that goodness also exists. So regardless if it's this universe or another universe or anything, if there are sentient, self-aware, autonomous beings that have the potential to suffer, those qualities kind of grant that possibility, then morality exists, goodness exists. There's something that is good and there's something that's moving away from being good. So I think that this shows that science and logic can identify human values to further the point that Sam Harris was making, and then that there is a transcendent ethic that already exists based on the nature of conscious beings existing that have the potential to suffer. So this doesn't mean that we need to create a transcendent ethic. It doesn't mean that we need to look at all the religions that exist in the world right now and pick and choose something that's already in front of us. It means that somewhere we just need to find it and identify what it is, but this transcendent ethic actually already does exist. It just needs to be studied. And this is going to be a multidisciplinary study, right? So we need biologists studying this, we need psychologists studying this, we need philosophers on this problem. We need people from all fields studying what it really means for a human to live a positive life and suffer the least amount possible. And when we can establish that, then we can start to establish what can we as individuals, as institutions, as a society, what can we be doing to move towards that, to increase the best possible situation for everybody involved. So just kind of a shorter video today, but I think that concept is really important and needs to be talked about. The transcendent ethic is something that I think is really needing to be established right now in this world. There is a great conversation series between Sam Harris and Jordan Peterson that, at least from what I extracted from it, this was the most important point, that while maybe they couldn't agree on some things, they both agreed that there needs to be some kind of transcendent ethic, arguably to replace these institutions such as religion and universities that have previously been kind of the pillars of what we understand humans needing to do. But yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. If you guys have any ideas or comments or anything like that, leave it below. Please like and subscribe. I will leave a link to my blog below where I talk about stuff like this and a whole range of subjects. So thanks for watching again, and have a good one.